least expect it happens. Like when I say goodnight and hang the phone up, I'm thinking of you. And it feels so right, I'm caving. How you getting through when I got my guard up? I began witnessing the innocence of love. Yeah, innocence of love. Witnessing the innocence of love. The innocence of love. Love, love, love.
Listen, do you remember the innocence before the pain? Before the false accusations and before the blame? When the sun shined every day, way before the rain. It felt like practice before the pressures of the game. Do you remember the innocence before the jealousy? Before we ever thought to use our words as weaponry? Before the relationship was ever in jeopardy? And without telling me, I knew your thoughts by your energy. We were young and our future was a mystery. Before either of us had baggage or any history. When there was only happiness before the misery. Before we ever had cares or responsibility. Before any insecurity, the innocence of love is sure to be based on purity. Started as a boy, then I grew to be a gentleman. I'm remembering at first our friendship was genuine.
When you least expect it happens. Like when I say goodnight and hang the phone up, I'm thinking of you. And it feels so right, I'm caving. How you getting through when I got my guard up? I began witnessing the innocence of love. Yeah, innocence of love. Witnessing the innocence of love. The innocence of love. Love, love, love.
Yeah, me and you laid up like remember when? This is what I've been missing, I wanna win again. Wanna make it new with you. It ain't over, still things I wanna do with you. See, I remember what I used to dream of when I was little. Big bold love, no coasting in the middle. Fairy tale life, real sweet, real simple. Then things got real, but I'm still here with you. So can we stop imagining all the worst times? What if we recreated the first time? What if he rose up a little nervous to meet her and she was in the window hoping that he don't see her? What if we keep all the energy from day one? Hold on to the joy and it stay fun. Still full of hope, love, peace, and innocence. I just need to know if you into it. Well,
when you least expect it happens. Like when I say goodnight and hang the phone up, I'm thinking of you. And it feels so right, I'm caving. How you getting through when I got my guard up? Then we begin witnessing the innocence of love. The innocence of love. Oh, 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 I ask myself sometimes, is it me? Is it really what it seems? Is it a dream? Or is it the innocence of love? The innocence of love.
That's Marcia. Oh, I love that picture in the background. That's really,
Oh, you baby girl. Thank you. Thank you.
T-shirt is flavorful. So, Marcia, thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate you doing it.
Absolutely. I am so honored that you would even ask me to do this. I'm so excited. So thank you. Thank you as well.
No doubt. So I've been doing a lot of interviews, and recently I decided I just want to interview real, regular, interesting people that stick out to me, that make me want to talk to them. And every time I see you, I want to talk to you.
Oh, thank you. Likewise. Likewise. The vibe is likewise, for sure.
So to me, you're very interesting and appealing. So I wanted to broadcast your personality and your vibe to the people. So for those that don't know you, I know you as a friend, a mother, a daughter, an empress, a Virgo queen, all around boss.
Yes, yes.
But
Yes.
in your words, how would you describe yourself? What do you do, and what do you represent?
I definitely don't describe myself like that, for sure. I mean, I am those things, but I'm definitely humbled by all of those things, for sure, because it has been a long road for Marcia. The growth of Marcia has been a lifelong journey. Trust and believe.
Let's talk about it.
Just to hear all those things, it just makes me, I love to hear those attributes, like those are the most important things to me, is not necessarily like physical things, material things, like anything that I have grown into, because child, I was not always this person. So just to be able to hear someone, give me those credits, it just feels really good, because I really worked hard on it. But yes, I am a mom. I am a friend, I'm a sister, I'm a daughter, and boss. Yes, I'm a boss, but I ain't where I want to be yet, but it's coming. But we will speak those things into existence. So still a boss as well. But, I definitely love to hear that kind of stuff. So I really appreciate you, saying that to me. And when people say that to me, I definitely, especially coming from women, I will say this. Of course, I love to hear it from men too. But my thing is, when I inspire a woman, that's who I am. I feel like that is my purpose right there. I am a person that I feel like everything that I have been through and what I've grown through, is for a reason. And I think that reason is to be able to help other women, and be able to encourage other women, inspire other women, because ain't nothing special that I did, like I am not supernatural in any sense of the word. So any of my friends will tell you, when they compliment me on those characteristics, like that means the world to me, that I can just have that heart for people. So that is who I am.
Listen, how you coming here killing it on the first question? I gotta give it up again. That's how you starting off. I love that answer. Good thing.
No, let me tell you, today has been a good day for me. So you caught me on a right day, for sure. I meditated a lot this morning, and to be honest, I actually thought we were interviewing tomorrow. I thought I had it on the calendar tomorrow, and some told me, I'm like, let me look and see, and I saw it was today, and I was like, oh snap. But I'm glad that I started my day the way I did. And this week has been up and down for me, but today is a good day. So that's why I'm like so excited that we're doing this right now, because my vibration is super high today.
So I told you about the interview like 10 days ago, and I don't think I've talked to you since then. And when I opened my email and saw you hit me up, I was like, she's so Virgo like.
You already know.
On point. On point. Yep. As soon as I opened it, I was like, okay, I love this. So one of the things I love about you the most is that no matter the season, I look up, I scroll down, and I always see you popping big style. I know that we all have our ups and downs, we in the middle of the pandemic, but you make it look good. Were you always like that? Or have you been like that since a kid? Or like at some point in your life, did you blossom into this, rose?
It was definitely blossoming. I mean, as far as like fashion trends, I've always been into it. But let me be real, growing up, my mama was not trying to hear all that. So it was rough. It was rough. I definitely, back in the day, rocked the oboes from Kmart and all of that. There wasn't no style. I had to do what my mom told me to do. Yeah. But going into adulthood, I kind of, my style changes with my mood. And that's the honest truth. When I wake up every day, it's just whatever I'm feeling. So one day I might be feeling a little sexy, so I want to put on something sexy. One day I might be feeling tomboyish, so I put tomboy clothes on, but I do mix it up. If you see like my closet, I'm a bit of a shopaholic, I will admit. But I can't help it. I love to, you know what it is? I think when you look good, you feel good.
Yeah.
So no matter what you're going through, if a woman puts on nice, even a man, if you put on nice clothes and you do yourself up, you're gonna feel good about yourself. And I think that's always been it for me. I always want to feel good about myself, and even if I'm feeling a little insecure about anything, it does feel good when you put on clothes and you look nice, and from head to toe it's looking all good. Yeah. But It runs in my
That's
family.
cool.
It runs in
Yo,
my
so
family.
every time I see you, I'm like, she should have went to school for fashion design because she's killing it every season.
I thought about it. I really did. I actually, back in the day, wanted to do modeling. My mom wasn't trying to hear that though, so I didn't go into it. But I definitely thought about it. And what is actually ironic about that is my daughter. She has picked up that same trait because she wants to do fashion designing, and she has a little sketch pad and she makes her little designs, and she comes and shows me, and she be putting together like her little outfits and the patterns and the colors, and I'm like, look at my baby girl, I'm so proud of her.
So I see your daughter back there in the picture, and she's also always popping big style. So talking about your daughter, I would say that you clearly display your love for your beautiful daughter all the time, and it shines through in all your posts. Other times parents, because we're going through things, sometimes we find it hard to spend time with our kid, but I always see you with your kid, doing things with your kid. How do you balance that time for yourself and going so hard for your daughter? Because it's clear to us. How do you do it?
It's hard.
What's your jewels?
It's hard. I'm not even gonna lie to you. It's hard. I'm a single mother, so I'm doing this by myself, and I do have very limited resources on who helps me. So it's very, very difficult. So I might make it look easy, but trust and believe it is not, because there is plenty of times that I come home from work from a stressful day and I just want to lay down and like shut out the world. But then I got this energetic, full of energy little girl that wants my attention, and she's very affectionate and loving, and I'm actually not as affectionate as her, but it's hard, Sai. I'm not even gonna lie. It's hard. I have to intentionally take that time. And I think that's what people need to realize. Like it doesn't come natural. We're human beings, Right. Parents need time too. Parents need time to recharge. And that's super important. And that's something I tell all my friends, especially my single mom friends. Don't feel guilty about taking that time away from your children to do for yourself. Because when we're depleted, we're going to pass that on to our children. We're going to be, we're not going to have patience that we're supposed to have. We're not going to show them the affection that they need to have. We're just not going to be present. Right. That's just what it is. As a woman, it's very, very difficult to balance that. I mean, like I said, it's hard. So I can't even give you the blueprint, but self-care is one thing I always will say. I do carve out that time intentionally to do something for myself, whether that may be go get a massage or a facial, or maybe just going out and dancing and listening to some music for the night, and just letting my hair down and having a drink or two and just be uninhibited. Then the next day I'm refreshed and I'm available for her. So that's really it. There's no huge secret for sure.
Because you do make it look good. You do make it look easy. You probably hear that a lot though.
I do. It's funny. I do.
I already know. So being a young Black woman in America can be, very stressful, like we just been talking about. How do you deal? Like when you do the self-care thing, like what types of things do you do to like mellow out? Like how have you been faring during the pandemic through the last year and a half? Because it's been hard as hell for me.
This is my friend. This is Cabernet, and she has been my friend through the pandemic. She gets me through a lot of days and a lot of nights. So, I like to have my glass of wine, my bun a little ting, every now and then.
I already know, yeah.
But that's my mellow time.
So, what is the greatest change you feel like you've ever had to overcome in your life, and how were you able to do it? I'm sure you made it look easy, but how were you able to do it?
Not easy again. I think the biggest change that I had in my life and that I had to overcome was definitely the transition of being in a relationship with my daughter's father into becoming a single mother. That was the hardest thing to make the decision to do, first of all. And that's another story for another day, because that gets deep. Yeah. But just the transition from being in a relationship with someone and raising a child together to doing it 100% on your own. And I knew from having friends that were single moms how difficult it was. But let me tell you, no one can prepare you for single motherhood. It is very, very, very difficult. And so from the very beginning, what I did was I was very conscious of making sure that my spirituality was intact, because that's really all I had. That's really all I had. You know, like I couldn't depend on everyone to be there for me all the time. And unfortunately, I learned that a lot of people are not there for you when you need them to be. And so I leaned a lot on my relationship with God. And I think that is what got me through it. I know for a fact that got me through it. From the very, very, very beginning. I just made sure I was prayed up every single morning. Every single morning. I was up and I was praying. I prayed, obviously, gratitude for things. I was very grateful the whole way through it, just because I know, even though my situation was hard for me, there's plenty other mothers that struggle way harder than me.
Right.
So I didn't take that for granted at all, because my situation could have been way worse, and it wasn't. And so that's really how I got through it. I prayed all the time, and God came through every single time for me. You know, like anything I prayed for, I had to work. Don't get me wrong. I had to put in the work too on myself, and, you know, in general in life, I had to put in the work too. But that is honestly what got me through it. And I'm going to give her credit. My good girlfriend, Tanisha Coley, that is, I'm telling you, that was my rock. And that gives me chills just saying that, because she was my rock.
It gave me chills. I felt it.
Yeah, it gave me chills, and I'm not going to cry. But I'm telling you, she would, you know, we would talk just like homegirls, you know, and we've been friends since 12, 13 years old. So I've known this woman for a very long time. And she's just the dopest woman that I know. Yeah. She's so dope. And she has seen me through a lot of things in my life. So she knows me better than anyone, probably. Right. And her being by my side, if she wasn't there, I don't know what I would do, because there was times that it was rough. And then I got some praying family members too that were on my side, you know. My auntie, my godmother, she prayed me through it. So that's the most, I can't think of anything else that was more difficult than navigating, getting my life together to be a single mother, because that was scary. You know, financially, like, I'm like, how am I going to do this on my own? Like, what am I going to do? And when I tell you, like, I got blessed like tenfold, I got more than what I needed, you know, more than what I even asked for. So like, that's the super dopest story or testimony or whatever you want to call it that I could tell. Like, that is just right there. That's it. Right.
So I'm a person who's big on I think change is the only constant in life. Besides death, change is the only constant. And I kind of feel like, you know, change is like an opponent. You can't really defeat, so it's best to become allies with that change. What would you say is the biggest change of who you were before that breakup and who you became afterwards? Because my mother always used to like say, no matter which direction you go, you're gonna have to walk through the fire. So you chose a direction, you had to walk through that fire. Who did you become afterwards that you weren't before?
I think before, all throughout my 20s, I would think. It's so funny because I could literally pinpoint where I changed. You know, my 20s were very, you know, like, I don't know if you remember how I was like in my teenage years and my 20s. I'm a very free spirit. I love to have fun. You know, I back then I didn't think about consequences. I didn't look past the moment for many decisions that I made. So I just made decisions on a whim. I would really just do whatever I felt in the moment, and I didn't think farther along. And so even the relationship, as hard as it was to go through and as toxic as that was, I needed to go through that, if that makes sense. Yeah. And of course, you know, the cliche is God doesn't give you more than you can handle, but really that's what it was. He knew I could handle that, as difficult as it was, and I needed to do that, because the woman that I am now would not have been, I don't think I would have been me right now and as solid and firm in myself as I am now if I didn't go through that. So like I said, now I'm conscious of the decisions I'm making. You know, I'm conscious of how that's going to affect me in the long run, how it's going to affect my daughter. That's another thing. She grounded me. Right. Having a child, you know, it grounds you. Listen, it grounds you.
I know, 4 times over.
Right. I only needed 1 time for me to figure it out. Like, she grounded me 100%. And, you know, like I want her, I always tell her, she'll tell you, I'm like, I don't want you to be like mommy. I want you to be better than mommy. And so now it's my duty to make sure that I give her the good example of that, you know, and show her. And me and her, you know, I have a really close relationship with her. I don't hide things from her. I mean, sometimes I have to dim it down because she's still young, but I tell her, I tell her the truth. I want her to know, you know, what life is about. I don't want her to make the same mistakes I did. I wish I had a me when I was going through it so that I could learn. And I didn't kind of have that because I'm the oldest sibling. So I didn't have a big sister, you know, to tell me. So that's what it is.
Oh, you're the oldest. I didn't know that.
I'm the oldest, yes.
No, I didn't mean it like that. I mean, like, you're the wisest. You should be the wisest if you're the oldest. You've been through the most at this point.
I definitely have.
So, I happen to know you're a Virgo, like your shirt says. Birthday's the day after mine, matter of fact. Virgo!
We coming. Virgo
our season is coming. So, I'm betting your mind races just like mine. And I'm also betting you have a superwoman-like Virgo ability to have great attention to detail. How would you say that attention to detail has helped you, and how has it also hurt you? If it has.
Well, no, because you already know we are very intuitive people. We are very intuitive. So I think that intuition sometimes, it's a good thing because it keeps you from things that can harm you. But then sometimes it tends to make you overthink. And I do that a lot. I'm an overthinker. Like things that I don't even need to be worried about, I tend to do that. So I would think that's the part of being the Virgo that I'm still working on, is to stop that overthinkingness. Like I know somebody back in the day used to tell me, and it's funny now that I think about it. He used to tell me my motto was, at Marcia, we thought of everything.
That's jokes. That's jokes.
Yeah, but it's true though, because like everything is just always lined up. Like we already know what we're gonna do. We need to, if we're packing a bag, we think of every situation that we're gonna need it. And it's a good thing, but then sometimes it be too much.
Yeah. Trust me, I know. People in my life feel it right now. I can't help it. I feel like, you know how you just said sometimes you might think too much? I feel like sometimes people don't think enough. Like, come on, fam. You didn't think about that?
Right. And that, you know how it is. And then we'd be looking at them like, really though? Like, common sense.
Right. So, big boss, I happen to know you're a property manager. For someone coming up looking to get in a similar position, can you describe what that current position that you're in is like, and how might someone work to get to where you're at?
Well, let me tell you, I fell into this career. It wasn't something that I actually strived to be. I wasn't thinking about being a property manager. I went to school for marketing, you know, so I'm a business major. And when I graduated undergrad and I came to Florida, I kind of fell into leasing. That's where I started. I started at the very bottom. I was leasing and I loved it. Like I loved interacting with people. I was really good at it. Within the first year of me being a leaser, I was the top leaser in my company, which I didn't even know there was such a thing. It was surprising when I even won that, you know, but my manager came to me like during that time, and she was just like, you're going to be a really good manager one day. You're going to be very, very successful in this business. And she planted that seed. And once she planted that seed, it was over for me. I was like, oh, word? Okay, I'm going to work towards this. Because, you know, we like a challenge as Virgo. So I'm like, okay, I got this. I'm gonna work towards it. And I literally worked my way up from the bottom to the top. And it's not easy because this is a very male-dominated industry, and it's a very white-dominated industry. There's very few minorities in the higher levels in this industry. Very, very, very few. And I have dealt with my share of discrimination.
I'm sure.
You know, people being promoted above me when I was qualified more than them, and then they telling me to train them, you know, and I'm like,
oh man,
them, and I can't get the job.
Man, yeah.
But it built character, and I look back on it, and I was like, there was a reason for it, because everything's supposed to be in the right timing,
right?
And the certain opportunities that I thought I wanted were not the ones for me. I was supposed to have better. So I am okay with that. But I do, like right now as a manager, I have women under me, you know, in my role, and each and every one of them, I try to groom them to be what they, you know, to move, if they're wanting to move up. Because some people don't want to. Some people just love what they do and they don't want to, you know, but I think that this industry is very hard. Don't get me wrong. It's stressful. I got some gray hairs somewhere up in here from being, you know, doing this, because it's very stressful. People don't understand the amount of work it takes. In one moment, I could be doing 10 different things, and you don't even understand the minute. You think property management, oh, they just collect and rent on the first.
They got it twisted, huh?
Oh, they got it so twisted. It's any and everything. Like, who you think make sure the lights stay on outside, or the trash don't build up. You know, like, it's just things you don't think about. And that's what I have to do in and every day. Plus dealing with people calling me and cussing me out for any and everything.
Right. Oh man, you got to take those calls? Yeah.
Well, you know.
I was gonna say, you ever got into a situation where you had to fire back and cuss somebody? Tell me about it.
Come on now, you already know. I have learned to tame it down, because before I used to get in trouble because I have a smart mouth. I'm from Jersey and I'm Guyanese, so you already know. So I would get in trouble because I would snap right back. But you know, when you're in a professional setting, you can't just say whatever off the top. Yeah. Now, let me tell you, your girl knows how to give a professional read like no other.
Oh my days.
I put people in there. I just did it today, and I do it all the time, and there's a way to do it. You know, like, I don't beat around the bush with people. I'm very straightforward, but I say it in a professional way. I'm very assertive and firm with them, and so they don't try me. People don't, you know, they don't try me too much every now and then, but I think I've trust me, I've been called every name in the book. Every name in the book. You think of a nasty, dirty name that you can call a woman, I've been called it.
Like even racist stuff?
Yes. I was called, somebody called me a nappy-headed hoe one time.
How did you respond to that?
I didn't. I had to let that go, because if I had responded, I would have lost my job, and ain't nobody gonna mess up my coin. So he was escorted out of the clubhouse and was trespassed and was no longer allowed back in there. But
face to face? Damn.
Yes, he was snapping on me. Like, he was snapping, and I didn't even do nothing to the man. I'm like, yo, why you that mad?
No, I dig it. I mean, one time someone told me wait one cotton, pick him in, and I just banged on him, and I almost got fired for that, so I can dig it. I was like, what?
Yeah, but you know what? I got the advice a long time ago is that people sometimes are mad at the situation. They're not mad at you. Right, so you got to kind of just think about that. And so I've learned that, but then sometimes I'm like, you do got to check people, because even if you're mad at a situation, and I tell my staff this all the time, you're here to do customer service, but you're not here to be abused. So I don't stand for that at all.
Right.
You have to give respect to get it.
So I was getting around to asking you, where do you believe the world may be heading in the next 2 years, and what may be some of your concerns?
Man, that's a loaded one, because as we can see, the world can change in the blink of an eye. And that is really scary to me in terms of, because, you know, like, as a Virgo, we like to control things. And that is not something, as I learned last year, that we can control. So, I mean, I would like to think 2 years from now that we'll be in a better place, obviously, than we are. I can't call it, Sai. It's so weird. Just after this pandemic, I think it just changed everything. Like, I can't even, my expectations can't even be expectations anymore. I kind of have to just live in the moment. You know, obviously you prepare for the future, but last year, you know how many plans I had that I had to, you know, X out? So it's hard to say. I mean, me individually, I know where I want to be in 2 years and where I want my daughter to be in 2 years, you know, the plans that I have for us. But the world, who knows? We may have another pandemic, because you know that every time we turn around, they talking about it's another variant, or
like, every time I turn around. they talking about the mask mandate is off and mask mandate is on. I'm like,
it's too much.
come on.
How long has this been already? It's been over a year that we've been dealing with this back and forth. And so it's hard to call it now. You know, I would love to say that we can try to visualize what it'll be in 2 years, but I think that was one of the biggest things that I learned is that these things are out of our control. Right. And we can only do what we can do, and we got to live in the moment. We have to cherish the things that are most important to us and prepare ourselves for whatever may come. And that's really how I got through the pandemic, to be honest with you. I didn't watch the news. I was not a news person. I'm like, nah, because that just stresses me out. It gives me anxiety. Anybody got time for all that? So I stayed off the news for sure. I tried not to feed into the negativity. I focused on making sure that me and my child were okay. I focused on preparing myself if something in either direction would come, stack my money, you know, or making sure we built our immune systems, or, you know, like that's what I'm focusing on, is just making sure we're the best for us. Because who knows what's going to happen.
Yo, speaking of building up, Joe, I already know. That's why I asked you, and I've been asking a lot of people, and I'm trying to see if anyone's going to come with a definite answer, but most of the answers have been just like yours. Like everybody just like, I don't know.
No.
Yo, speaking of building your immune system, do you have any rules of what you do to keep your immune system high?
Well, at first I was boiling my own tea. So I was doing turmeric and ginger. Easy. And I would boil that and drink it every day, every morning, religiously. I was drinking that. Yeah. But that can be harsh on your system if you do it too much. You know, too much of anything is not a good thing. So it was kind of harsh on my system, obviously, and that turmeric is staying up too much. So I backed off of that. And my aunt, actually, she has a wellness business in Ohio.
Oh, yeah?
So she sent me, she has all the vitamins.
You got a website?
She does.
She does. All right.
Yeah.
Give it to me. I'm gonna make sure it flashes on the bottom of the screen.
Oh yes, I know she will love that. Auntie would love that. So it's a wellness and weight loss center that she just started actually right before the pandemic, and she was actually nervous about it. And I'm like, this is the best time. Like, what else do people need right now? You know, and then after the pandemic, everybody done gained those extra pounds. They need to. So I think that was divine intervention too. But she sent me a bunch of stuff too. The zinc, vitamin D, vitamin C. There's like olive leaf, and I don't even like. It was like I as many vitamins as I take every morning. Like, it's crazy, but that's what it was. I just built my immune system. Obviously, going outside and getting fresh air. I'm here in Florida, so for us, we were a little spoiled because we were able to do more than most of the country. We stayed outside in the sun.
Oh, I see y'all wilding out.
Oh, we was wilding. We was wilding down here. We were wilding. It didn't feel like a pandemic for the majority of the pandemic.
Oh, man.
It was like living. We just did whatever we wanted. We just put a mask on. That was basically it. Dope. But that's to say, like, just being outside and making sure, you know, people underestimate laughter too, and being happy, because you know, if you're happy and you're laughing and things, your body is gonna feel that. So I made sure I didn't make myself depressed over it. We went outside, we got fresh air, we got sun, and we built our immune system. Me and my daughter, I had her on vitamins too, and knock on wood, we were good. We still good. So we're gonna make sure.
Jules. So I wanted to bring it back to your earlier days. I know you went to Georgia State University. What would you say during your time at Georgia State University was your single greatest lesson?
That Atlanta's hood.
I take it.
It is. Because Georgia State is right downtown Atlanta.
I know exactly where it's at.
Literally downtown Atlanta. And I lived in Atlanta for 6 years, and I had visited it plenty of times before that. And I loved it. The culture in Atlanta is amazing. The food is amazing. You know, like, it's Black Hollywood. What's not there to love? But when you live there, it's a different story to me. I didn't enjoy living there for many reasons, not just one. But I would say that was the one challenge at Georgia State. I mean, I learned a lot in the business school. The business school was very, very challenging. super challenging. And, you know, a lot of times we think, what's the point of going to college? You know, like getting a degree. I'm never going to use any of this. And I'm not saying that everything that I learned in school that I'm using, but it was very useful information. You know, I learned a lot of discipline from that, my work ethic. I gained from that school because they didn't play. That business school didn't play. It was pass or fail. You know, it was departmental tests. So you don't pass this course, you gotta take it again. You can't go. You can't go to the next one. You gotta pass this one, and that's it. But Atlanta, downtown Atlanta's rough. A lot of homeless population. You'd be surprised. The homeless population is huge in downtown Atlanta. So imagine walking to class, you know, through like, it was like a little courtyard area, but I forget what it's called. I can't even remember now. But I would have to leave from the main campus and walk over to the business school. So I would have to pass through there where the underground is and all that kind of stuff. And just seeing that, like the amount of poverty and the amount of homelessness that they had there, it just really puts things into perspective. And that actually was a motivator for me too. You know, I'm like, God, please, you know, like let me keep me focused, keep me going, give me, you know, the blinders so that I can make sure that this, because I always look at homeless people and I'm like, how did you get here? Like, I just never understand.
Like, what's your story? Like, what happened? I get it. I dig it.
Always. I look at them like, what is your story? I want to know. So I would say that's what it was. It was real life.
Yeah.
Real life.
I get it. I can dig it. So, growing up in a West Indian household, like you and I both did, probably a bit different from like some of our American friends. What would you say were some of the advantages and disadvantages to growing up in, you know, a Guyanese household? Keep it 100.
I'm gonna keep it 100. You already know. I love my West Indian culture. I would not trade it for the world. I love being from Guyana. I love everything about the island culture. Love the food, the music, the speech, everything I love about it. But coming up to the States and having to blend those two cultures together was very, very difficult early on as a child. Because we came up in '87, so I was only 6 years old when we came to the United States. And I had a very thick accent, of course. So the kids made fun of me in school. You know, this was in Jersey. I was in Jamesburg when we first came up here.
Okay.
And the kids made fun of me, so that was hard because I was the only like little Guyanese girl. And of course, my family was not wealthy at all, by all means. My mom and dad came up here, very humble beginnings. So I didn't have the nicest clothes. I had some straight island clothes, you know. So I got made fun of every day. So that was hard, just blending those two. And of course, at home, my mom was super strict.
Yeah.
Education, she didn't play at all. Education came first. Grades came first. Yeah. And then because it was a new country in general for them too, you know, I wasn't allowed to like go over to people's house, you know, like she didn't know. And so I couldn't hang out with the other kids like I wanted to. So that was hard for me as a child. But now that I'm older, I appreciate those things because it kind of kept me away from some things that I probably would have gone through that I didn't need to.
Yeah, for sure.
So I appreciate that. I mean, but the huge disadvantage is because when you have Caribbean parents, they don't care what's going on in America. they don't care what's going on over here. You are Guyanese. We're raising you Guyanese.
Yeah. Already know.
You know, you're even when you're 40 years old, you're still a child. So, you know.
So, are you bringing some of those Guyanese ways to like how you parent your daughter now, or have you switched up? Yeah,
I do. I find myself, and I have to check myself. I'm conscious of it though, because it was harsh. You know, Caribbean culture discipline is harsh. Very, very. It's no nonsense. You know that already.
Yeah, I got chased around the house with a belt. I heard that.
So I try not to be like that because, you know, I do feel like children do need to have a voice. And that was one thing I found when growing up, you know, the Caribbean culture, children don't have a voice. Children are to be seen and not heard. And that was how we grew up. But with my daughter, I don't do that with her. You know, like I tell her all the time, you're allowed to speak up. You're a person. Just do it respectfully. I'm very big on respect.
I love that.
So that's the one thing she'll tell you. Two things that I don't play. Education. I'm still big on the education. Because my parents brought us up here for those opportunities, to be honest.
Right.
You know, like they wanted us to make sure that we got those opportunities, which is ironic because but that education and respect, but I do allow her to be her individual self. But sometimes I be hearing my mother, when I get mad, my mother comes out. It does. It comes out, and then I have to check myself, and then I go back and, you know, regroup it and we talk about it. So I balance it. I do balance it.
So let me ask you this. If you could rewind and go back to, say, the year 2000, what advice would you give yourself? What would you say to yourself at, you know, the year 2000?
Left the man alone and concentrate on yourself.
I'll take it.
Stop
I'll take it.
spending so much time thinking about the man and worry about yourself.
I'll take
That's
it.
it.
Yo, a lot of
That's
people
it.
need to hear that right now, so I love it. And that's why I wanted to interview you, because I know you would be truthful and drop jewels, and you're saying all the things that I want people to hear. So this is a beautiful thing. But I want to get to a more fun question. We did kind of all the serious things. So I want to ask you, if you could choose any artist in any genre to create an album about your life, who would it be and why?
I love that question because music is everything to me. I listen to music all day long, all day long. And it depends on my mood, on which genre that I'm listening to. Because you can catch me, like right now in the background, I got my reggae on. You know, I was to prepare for this interview, I had Bob on. You know, I have my Bob on, preparing myself. And then there's some days I'm in the car and I'm Cardi B. I'm super ratchet. You know, and then I love 90s R&B and I love country music. So I'm all over the place. But when I thought about this question, I have to say, H.E.R is a dope artist. Like, she is so talented, and she's so talented she plays musical instruments and lyrically, and her voice, and she's an old soul, because you can't even, like, I don't even understand how she's that young. Like, she's so young. I think she would be able to capture the essence of everything that I go, because her new album, have you heard her new album?
Nah, you put me up right now.
Oh,
I'm missing out. I'm tripping.
It's a good one. It's a good one. You tripping, you gotta listen to it.
Yo, so if you could tell me 2 H.E.R songs that I should listen to first, what songs would they be?
Well, the first one I like, Bloody Waters. That's a good one. You know, she's a big activist too. So her music, her activism comes out of her music. So I like that one. I don't know, the whole album is dope. Let me think. The next one that I would put after that one, oh my goodness. There's the one with Chris Brown, Come Through. That's like a real, like, sexy little vibe, you know, like late night sneak link. I don't know what you want to call it. What do they call it? Sneaky link?
Nowadays, what do they call it?
Right, sneaky link. That's one of those vibes. I don't know, the whole album, like, she's just dope. She's a dope artist. So I think I would trust her to tell my story. I really would. I really would. She embodies women. She gets it.
I'm gonna check her album out like this weekend for sure and give you my update on it. I'm sure it's gonna be dope though, because I feel like you have that attention to detail, so you're able to pick out these things. I trust you.
Yeah.
So yo, if you could have any superpower you could think of, what would it be and why?
I feel like I already have my superpower that I would want, which is my intuition. I have a super, almost scary intuition, which I've learned to embrace over the last few years as I've grown. I've learned to embrace it and actually listen to it. And again, it can be a good thing or a bad thing sometimes, you know, but I'm very intuitive. So that is my secret superpower for sure.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, let me do something here. How about this?
I like all your art in the back though, side. Like, that's dope.
Thank you. I have all my favorite people back there. Nina Simone, Baldwin, Redman, Jay-Z, Bruce Lee, Muhammad Ali, Bob Marley. I know that's your guy, Pele. But yeah, I put those things back there to inspire myself and my children. When they walk in here, they have like all quotes. So
love it. That's intentional. I'm all about the intentionalness of it. I love it.
Oh yeah, Nina Simone's big ass smile and Jane representation. So I do that. So when my daughter comes in here, she sees a black woman with a big ass smile on her face. Very intentional.
Yes, I love it. I love it.
Thank you. So yo, if you could choose any actress to play yourself in an autobiographical movie, who would it be and why?
That's a hard one. Because like sometimes you think like somebody to play you gotta look like you. So I will go off of vibe, I would say. More so than even just looking like this person. But I think Megan Good would be a good one for me.
I love it. I'll take it.
I like her vibe. Like when I see her in movies, I'm like, she acts just like me. So I think that would be it.
That's a good one. Yo, what is something about you that most people don't know? Like, give me a jewel that when like your friends might be watching this, they're gonna be like, yo, I didn't know that about myself. Like, give me a jewel.
I don't know. I'm such an open book that I don't think anyone that's close to me would find anything surprising, because sometimes I'm a TMI kind of person. Like I do overshare. But things that people don't know, because I come across so confident that people don't realize I am really shy. If you were to see me out in a setting, the one like I won't talk to anyone unless they talk to me. And then once they get to know me, then I'm good. But then sometimes I'm super awkward too. It's the weirdest thing. And I don't think people realize that like with me, because they say, oh, you're so like, my name actually means courage and brave. And I've known that all my life. And I do have that in me, but primarily I am kind of shy. For sure.
You know what? I think I would have guessed that because I'm some Virgo shit, because I'm the same way.
Right.
I'm not really shy, but I might not want to talk. And I'm confident, but I might not always, how do I put this? I get like, I have like nervous energy sometimes, but then when I'm like on stage, I don't like to show anybody that shit. They only have to see.
Right. It snaps on and off.
Yeah. So yo, we're kind of close to the end. I have a lightning round. And before I get to the lightning round, I have one more question. But for my lightning round, I ask you a question like hot or cold, and you're supposed to give not a long answer, just say hot or cold, whichever one you prefer, or whichever one you want to say. So I'm going to give you a few of those. But before I do that, last question, is there anything you want to discuss or let the people know that we kind of haven't talked about?
I mean, I really want everyone to know, like, there is, like we talked about a lot about, my life and what I do. And I honestly want people to know there is nothing that I have done in my life that no one else can do. It really just takes every day getting up and being intentional about what you do in every aspect of your life, whether that's your career, your relationship with your significant other, your relationship with your kids. Be intentional about what you do. And if you see that what you're doing is not working, you got to change the pattern. And I'm guilty of that all the time. Like I said, within this it's been a couple weeks that I've had this weird kind of energy. I don't know if somebody was trying to put some juju on me or whatever, some phobia. I don't know. But of course, I'm prayed up. I'm blocked, but it's difficult. But you have to intentionally do things, So if you're finding that you're waking up every day and you're going to work in a bad mood, change that. Wake up every morning and meditate maybe, and give yourself positive affirmations. And it really does change your mood for the entire day. It changes your outlook. And the more you put that out, what you want, the more you're going to get it. So just put that out there like it honestly is already happening. Even if it's not. If you're looking for the love of your life, put that out there. Put that love out there. Say that you already have it. You already feel it. If you're wanting abundance, your money, put that out there. You're already rich. You already have everything you need, and just give that gratitude. That's one main thing too. Give gratitude. Even if you're in a situation that is not perfect and you want more, think about what you're in, because it could be worse. There's a lot of people that are doing worse than you. So even if your situation is crappy right now, I guarantee you it's better than someone else that may be praying for what you have. Put that gratitude out there. Honestly, it will come back. That I know for sure, 100%.
Jules. I gotta give it up for that one too. I think you might have got the most applause I ever gave out in an interview.
Oh, that makes me feel good. Yay.
Yo, lightning round. You ready?
Yes, let's go.
Plandemic or pandemic?
Definitely plandemic. Definitely.
Bob Marley or Michael Jackson?
This is hard because I love me some Michael, but Bob, it's something different with Bob, man. And as of lately, Bob has been my man. Like, that man speaks to my soul. Bob, definitely, 100%.
Bob, okay. Kid or play? Matter of fact, I gotta do like this. Kid, no. Yeah, kid or play?
That's another hard one because I like them equally. But if I had to choose, I'm gonna do team dark skin because I do like dark skin. So we're gonna go team dark skin.
Okay. All right. What we got else here? Beauty or brains?
Definitely brains. You gotta have the brains because if you beautiful with a hole in your head, that's not gonna go nowhere. So you definitely need to have the brains.
All right. Pineapples or watermelon?
Pineapples. We know why.
Beanie Man or Bounty Killer?
That's another hard one, but I'm gonna have to go with the gal them sugar.
All right. Nas or Jay?
Jay all day. Jay-Z all day. I love Nas too, but I love Jay. Like Jay, his lyrically, amazing.
Okay. And then lastly, kill them with kindness or bring it to their front door.
This is a hard one for me. Listen, I act accordingly. So I'm on whatever you want. I'm gonna leave it like that.
I love it. Well, Marcia, we've come to the end. You've been a great interview. I can't wait till people see this. They're gonna love it.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. This was an absolute pleasure. I had a lot of fun. I'm smiling. I feel good. It's good energy. So I'm gonna keep it going. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
I'll talk to you soon, Marcia.
All right. Thank you, Sai. Have a good night.
You're welcome. Peace.
Bye.
Later.
Hexagon, what up? This place raised me, man. A lot of love here. This is for Jersey. Though I came a long way on my journey, I'm always gonna represent Jersey. Say it many times and make sure that they heard me. I do this one for Jersey. I'm the best MC, I'm not here to convince. You probably reply to emails from the Nigerian prince if you thinking otherwise, but I'm not these other guys. I take a blanket statement and cover lies. New Jersey's just as live, anything else is dead, put it to bed. My favorite MC is still red. When Poor Righteous was teaching, I was a young boy who thought he fly. It was a stretch, but I thought I was trash from naughty by. To me, Skid Slam and Science of Life had the hardest tracks. I was influenced by outsiders and the artifacts. So many times we wait till somebody dies, but fuck that, here's your flowers while you alive. It's no debate, much in my statement to my benefit. That's why I'm repping it like the Nets with drives and Petrovic. I'll never quit, keep the speaker, Rick is even deeper. I do this for Whitney, Lauren, and Queen Latifah. This is for Jersey. Though I came a long way on my journey, I'm always gonna represent Jersey. Said many times to make sure that you heard me. I do this one for Jersey. Though I came a long way on my journey, I'm always gonna represent Jersey. Said many times to make sure that they heard me. I do this one for Jersey. The way my story started wasn't likely. We moved from England to Jersey in 1990. And even though I wasn't born here as a baby, it's crazy lately I've been feeling that New Jersey made me. Where I'm from, some still sleep on me and ain't on the way. Even though I've been in foreign countries repping the Garden State. But I thought I always represented you. Some people just can't give out the credit when it is due. True, my competition waiting for me to go away. Might as well be Columbia House waiting for me to pay. Now it's well told, since young my soul felt old. I also felt bold, cause I can spit hot and melt gold. I rap Jersey, I can't really name the clubs, but ask me about the grease trucks or tasty subs. Been before Walmart and Target. Bought Simpson t-shirts from the Route 1 flea market. Now I'm killing every session and I'm steady repping. You can catch me going to grandma's on 27. Then off to NY, with stages I was killing. At New York shows, New Jersey was always in the building. Thinking this made you a minor. I get you open like a 24-hour diner. I symbolize the state like it's my birthright. This for every night I spent driving home on a turnpike. This is for Jersey. Though I came a long way on my journey, I'm always gonna represent Jersey. Said many times to make sure that you heard me. Yo, I do this one for Jersey. Though I came a long way on my journey, I'm always gonna represent Jersey. Said many times to make sure that they heard me. Yo, I do this one for Jersey.